I feel it's part of our life force.
I think it's one of the things that makes us human.
When you strip away religions and you go, okay, what is spirituality in that setting? It's got something to do with why we live.
Nothing at all is certain. No truth is true enough to be considered safe.
It's got something to do with hope and why a person moves forward in life at all.
This play will shape each and every one of you and make each and every one of you question and reassess the foundations of your own faith. This play...
We speak with many and varied voices. Well, I am a Muslim. Some of our actors, like my friend, are Jewish. Some are Christian, some are more devout than others. We have no Hindus, we have no Buddhists, we have nobody of the Baha'i faith. Including the writer, we have several atheists. We have some agnostics, we have 2 occultists, one of whom is also a Freemason. We have some people who refer to themselves as spiritual.
What is the weight of that word today for young people? What do young people want to say about that word? Why do we still have that word in our language?
So we've been dealing with the way young people view faith in society and looking at how everyone who views it is very different.
The thing that I kept on hearing over and over and over again is that the thing that's important about this topic is not the politics of religion. That's not the important thing. The thing that's important is the stuff that joins us together as people, as humans, that makes us love each other, that makes us want to form families, that makes us want to get out of bed in the morning, and that sometimes stops us from wanting to get out of bed in the morning, and that sometimes breaks families and breaks communities.
Go on then. Tell me that I don't know everything there is to know. Come on. Tell me that anything is possible. Please. Tell me that there's more to life and how I've been living this.
People don't realise many young people become part of international aid societies. There are so many overseas volunteers that are young people who finish their courses, who are spending time working internationally. You know, there's a giving in young people, but there's a narrow Western perception that you get the highest tertiary entrance ranking mark, you go to university, you get a high-paying job, and you accrue funds. And I don't think that this generation of young people see that as all there is.
So you're not saying me?
The more I talk to people about what part faith played in their lives or religion played in their lives, the more I heard a positive story about that stuff, when I might have predicted, if I had have predicted anything, that it might have been a negative kind of thing. I mean, we've got some Sudanese refugees working on their show who religion has sort of, you know, some religious kind of elements have cast them out of their country, out of their home, and have put them in a very foreign world to them, and you know, thrown their lives up in the air. So I could have thought, well, they would have some really dark things to say about what religion and faith means to them, but they don't, never. It's always about family, and it's always about community, and it's always about life and keeping on living, and that's what I wanted to reflect.
I always leave my job and come and do performance, and now, I don't know, I'm addicted to the show.
And the number one thing that young people need is a solid, community base around them, and for a lot of people they get that through their friends, and they get that through their social networks that they have online.
And thinking, well, what is all this about at the core? We come together in common belief at a point in time where we experience a state of stillness, and that recharges us and takes us forward. Some people do that through running, some people do that through singing together, and some people do it through worship. So what is the place of worship now?
Look down
Well, it wasn't like I was brought up in a tiny little village where everyone else was Jewish.
God is kind of like a force, a great guiding force within the universe, not necessarily like an old man or a person.
Throughout my whole entire life, I've always felt a connection spiritually.
Why would you want to believe in something that you can't prove?
Having doubts allows you to understand, in a deeper sense, your own faith and who you are and how that faith connects to you.
I've met people that's been through rape, torment, bashed, beaten, homeless and all that. And they came out of it on the other side with a smile on their face, only to believe that there was somebody out there to, you know, protect them.
I saw something over there through that window.
And while it's clear that young people identifying as of a particular faith that number has decreased, the number of young people who say they are of a spiritual basis or that they believe there is something other than self and that social connectedness is very important to them has increased.
I said, how would you like to engage in interfaith dialogue, or what type of groups would you like to be involved in if you were to engage in interfaith dialogue? And they looked at me really quizzically, and they said, but we do it every day. We've got friends from totally different cultures, and we've got friends who are from totally different religions from our own, or aren't even religious for that matter. But we're not naming it as an interfaith dialogue, or we're not naming it as interfaith activity. We're just doing it because it's fun.
Yes, this country has had to come to terms with difference.
Some people are too narrow-minded and they only see their religious beliefs, and narrow-mindedness makes things really hard for people of different religions to get along.
I've only ever had one friend that's religious. It's never caused conflict because she knows that I'm not religious and I know that she is. But we got along very well. We were best friends.
We were kind of watching everyone, and everyone has just created amazing relationships. There's all these people sitting around laughing and talking, and to look at, you'd imagine they never would have interacted before this encounter, and they hadn't. I was there for day one when everyone kind of nervously looked around at everyone and kind of said hi and kind of said, what does faith mean and all this, and now there's people, they're out on a break now and they're all out learning about each other's lives and broadening their horizons and sharing differences and giving a little bit of themselves. And yeah, I mean, watching them, eat a banana together in the rehearsal room and, laughing and smiling, we had a moment where we said, well, we've success, whatever happens tomorrow night, this has been a success.
I hope they just get a tiny taste of what we've gone through for the last couple of months.
I think people shouldn't come here with any expectation, and I think then they'll get a lot out of it.